In the shadow of the still smoldering volcano Vesuvius lie the ruins of the sprawling Roman metropolis Pompeii. 2,000 years ago, its streets, its grand houses, and its people buried. Allowed in before the crowds, NBC News is the first U.S. crew to see the latest discoveries of the most important dig in the last 100 years. It centers around this massive villa, Casa del Tiasso. Director General Dr. Gabriel Zuchtriegel takes us inside.
And this is it.
Wow.
And we are now
unveiled just 2 weeks ago, a ruby red banquet hall, spectacular frescoes on 3 walls with near life-sized figures. And the focus, this woman, a mortal awaiting initiation into the mysterious cults of Dionysus, the Greek god of wine and ecstasy. But for the guests, the experience wasn't just about fine dining.
You had theater, dancers.
It was all connected.
It was kind of a total work of art.
Outside of the parties, of which there were many, these grand houses offered other forms of delight.
Now, one of the big clues that this was a rich man's house is having a private bathhouse inside. This was the locker room where you would start, get naked, and head to the caldarium. This was the modern-day sauna. There was a boiler over there, heat coming up through the floor, through the walls, and then you would go next door to the tepidarium, where you got your spa treatments. And finally, you'd finish in the frigidarium and a cold plunge into that pool.
Oh, this room would have been fantastic.
Where business got done.
Exactly. Romans didn't have offices, so this was part of their office.
But even if you were super rich in 79 AD, as imagined in the movie Pompeii, Vesuvius didn't discriminate.
If you're left in the city at that point, you're never going to leave.
So anyone who stayed died?
Yes.
Archaeologist Dr. Sophie Hay leads us down into this tiny room. 2 skeletons were recently uncovered, barricaded inside.
This room that provided sort of sanctuary and safety potentially in their heads became their tomb.
But who were they and why didn't they leave?
The ancient world still presents us with more questions than we have answers.
But that's why you keep digging.
Exactly.
Who knew that the people of Pompeii were bringing sexy back in 79 AD right there with the bathhouse? What comes next in this dig?
You're welcome for that, Peter. And I have so many questions about the bathhouse, about the women on those amazing frescoes. But as far as what's next, this is a massive house. They have found 55 rooms, but archaeologists are really optimistic creatures. They think there might even be 100 rooms, and that is Dr. Hay who says that, who led me down into that little room. But Peter, under my feet right now, 1/3 of the city is unexcavated. So you heard it from her. They're going to keep on digging, and it is so exciting to see what may still await in the future.
I mean, the colors on the murals being so well preserved is pretty incredible. Molly, thank you.
That was very cool.
She's Dora the Explorer.
Yeah,
I love it. Thank you, Molly.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.